Happening now, a man is presumed dead after a tragic canoeing accident. The search is underway. And a local group is hosting a vigil for the victims of a racially motivated Buffalo shooting in Jamestown this week. Plus, the American flag is being passed around by veterans across all 50 states. The first stop, the Jamestown Falconer branch.
Live and on demand, this is WNY News Now.
Thank you for joining us for WNY News Now. I'm Bronson Rasmussen, and we start with breaking news. A man visiting friends at a rural Chautauqua County town is presumed deceased following a tragic canoeing accident along a popular waterway. WNY News Now's Justin Gould spent the morning at the scene as first responders searched for his remains.
On Sunday afternoon, a group of 4 friends took to the Canoeing Creek in 2 canoes.
After a day of hanging out together at the family farm, they decided to come down and do a little recreational kayaking and canoeing.
However, as Lieutenant Tom Kelly with the New York State Police tells us, in a single moment, things turned fatal.
The one canoe got hung up on a tree that was across the creek. So in their efforts to try to traverse the tree in the creek, the canoe overturned.
Friends of the man quickly called 911, summoning first responders around 6 o'clock Sunday. The night's search was unsuccessful, with crews returning to the scene Monday morning.
Unfortunately and realistically, yeah, it's most likely a recovery. With cold water, in the water rescue world, we're always optimistic that, there's cases where people can be submerged up to 45 minutes in cold water and still have a viable recovery. Unfortunately, I think that window has, far been surpassed for us.
The county's Director of Emergency Services says in addition to several local fire departments, the county's technical rescue team, state police, and sheriff dive teams are searching the waterway. Police also deployed a drone.
And it's a tragic situation from the start, and the more it goes on, it just becomes more anguishing, and we just want to be able to, for the first responders and predominantly the family, being able to close this and say that we were at least able to help somehow is beneficial for everybody involved.
While details are still coming in for this incident, officials at the scene behind me say one life-saving measure should be in place for anyone who plans to hit the water this summer.
It looks flat and it looks pretty peaceful, but this is the definition of swift water, and that water is moving very rapidly, although it doesn't exactly look like it. And it's a very, very dangerous body of water. And with any body of water, the number one safety thing anybody can do is wear a PFD, a personal flotation device.
Justin Gould, WNY News Now.
Justin, thank you. Officials tell us the search will continue throughout the day until he is found. If they are not able to make a recovery today, efforts would be released and likely resumed tomorrow. Well, switching gears now. First, let's get a check of our first weather forecast with Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter. How's it going there, Dakota?
Happy Monday, Bronson, and happy Monday to all of you. And boy, those storms over the weekend. Oh boy, but it's calm out there right now. Chautauqua Lake Association Skycam showing you just a few of those puffy white clouds, and through the day it's going to remain dry. The satellite and radar composite not really showing you much, but we are going to see a few high clouds surging on in through the afternoon hours today. So some of that sunshine that we have is going to be filtered behind some high level clouds, but the same thing we talk about all the time. High level clouds means no rain. No rain can fall out of high clouds. 70 was the high yesterday, but this was early. Temperatures dropped all the way down into the 50s yesterday as that cold front came through. We started the day at 44, 88, and 25 are the records. So through the afternoon, partly to mostly sunny, a cooler day, but it's overall nice, 58 to 65 with an overall light north to northwest wind. Now, the temperatures will continue to go up through the week and a few rain chances on the way. We'll talk about it with that Ultimate Satellite Solutions 7-day forecast later on in the show, Bronson.
All right, we'll see you then, Dakota. Saturday morning brought a lot of action to the Jamestown area, from new greenery being planted all over the streets to street cleaners doing their rounds, and many taking part on the hands-on neighborhood citywide cleanup event in an effort to help beautify the city. The cleanup event employs the help of community members to take up action and help clean up specific areas. In this case, the downtown Jamestown area, along with the Riverwalk, were the main targets. Changing it up this year, the city has condensed the amount of official cleanup events down to 3 from 7 last year. The city is also allowing participants to pick and choose where they want to clean up in hopes of more community support. The event had over 70 participants pre-register, with even more coming up to help out.
When things look nice, people are actually, their moods are lifted, their spirits are lifted. So we're happy to do our part.
I think it's a fun way to get people together and to do something that ends up being really great for the community at large.
For those that couldn't make it to the cleanup event, officials say that the city offers support to all who would like to help clean up at any time. Late last week, a judge finalized and released new congressional maps for New York's 23rd District, as well as 63 state Senate districts. The deadline was set by Justice Patrick McAllister of the state Supreme Court in Steuben County. The state approved new congressional district lines back in February, but the Court of Appeals said that the lines were gerrymandered to favor Democrats and give them an advantage. A court-appointed judge released a draft of the new congressional district lines on Monday. The court concluded that was unconstitutional and redrew the district lines. The state redrawn 23rd district includes most of Erie County, along with all of Chautauqua, Cattaraugus, Allegheny, Steuben, Chumeng, and Schuyler counties. These new district lines will remain in effect for the next 10 years. The Human Rights Commission will host a vigil for the victims of the racially motivated Buffalo shooting outside of City Hall at noon on Friday. Our Julia Gress has more.
Reverend U.V. Stewart, chairman of the Human Rights Commission in Jamestown, grew up near the Jefferson Avenue tops where the shooting took place.
It's heart-wrenching to see a tragedy like that. And so I thought it would be a great idea as we as a people in Jamestown would just come together just to celebrate one another. When you have a tragedy like that, not only does it affect there, but it affects the areas around also, you know. And we need each other.
Stewart says the event will include speakers as well as an opportunity for neighbors to lean on each other in this time of sorrow.
I think one of the things we have to reduce the fears between the different groups, and we reduce that by getting to know one another. It used to be, when I came to Jamestown, you didn't have to lock your doors. You know, it was that peaceful, and we got to know all our neighbors, and the kids played together. We played football, basketball, whatever, you know, different schools, different places, and we all kind of got along.
Jamestown residents Marie and Edward Voss hope that the vigil will be a good place to build relationships to help eliminate the feeling of otherness.
I don't understand the hate that people can have for people they don't know, hate that's based on crazy conspiracy theories that are wrong, that they judge someone as unworthy just because of the color of their skin. It's incomprehensible. I cannot understand that level of hate.
Marie continued that it is not on the neglected communities to make the change for themselves. It is on those who have been putting them down to make the change. Edward furthered that the education of the oppression minority communities have felt and admitting our own faults is key to moving forward. Julia Gress, WNY News Now.
Julia, thank you. As WNY News Now continues, the battle that a Jamestown nurse is having following her giving birth to twin girls. And later, why a Pennsylvania Attorney General is supporting petitioners in the educational funding trial. Stay with us as WNY News Now will be right back.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
What could you lose in a home fire? Your possessions? Your home? Your memories? Don't let your world go up in smoke. Make sure you have working smoke alarms and practice an escape plan for you and your loved ones, because fire is everyone's fight.
This message was brought to you by the Jamestown Fire Department and the Chautauqua Safety Village.
Welcome to Honest John's Pizzeria, where you are the most important customer.
Everything from freshly made subs to the best of pizza and wings, Honest John's has it all.
And don't forget the ice cream!
Order online today or check out our 2 great locations with buffets ready for every appetite.
Don't I have the best job in the world?
Catch your First Defense forecast daily on WNY News Now.
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvan Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer, plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you.
Celebrate the end of school and say hello to summer with a day of fun activities for children in the Jamestown area, hosted by Collaborative Children's Solutions and the City of Jamestown. The first part of the day happens at Northwest Arena, where both kids and parents alike can learn about activities available to you. Later in the evening, finish out the night at the Tarp Skunk baseball game, along with a fireworks show at Russell Dietrich Jr. Park. Stop on down on Friday, June 24th, as we celebrate the end of school and say hello to summer.
With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now.
Click It or Ticket. The national campaign begins Monday, May 23rd. State police and local agencies across New York State will be taking part in the Buckle Up New York Click It or Ticket mobilization. They are pushing efforts to increase seatbelt and child safety seat use in order to help reduce injuries and fatalities in the event of a car accident. Now, this is a statewide effort that goes until June 5th. The initiative is coordinated by state police, local agencies, sheriff offices, and the governor's Traffic Safety Committee. In the Empire State, police can ticket drivers who are not wearing a seatbelt, even if they're not committing any other traffic violations. According to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, seatbelts saved an estimated 14,955 lives in 2017 nationally. On the other hand, 2,549 Americans died in crashes because they were not wearing their seatbelts. As Memorial Day draws near, we are seeing a continuous increase of gas prices. AAA says today's national average is $4.60 per gallon, up 12 cents from last week, over $1.50 more than last year's prices. As for New York State, the average price per gallon is $4.93, up 17 cents from last week. According to the latest data, total domestic gasoline stocks decreased while gasoline demand increased. As of today, the average price per gallon in Chautauqua County is $4.73, one of the lowest averages in the state. A Warren County family is waiting for a miracle after 38-year-old Christy Carson gave birth to twin girls last month. She was immediately placed on life support, however. Doctors discovered Christy had a rare heart condition, and now the new mom is hoping for a heart transplant. Erie News Now's Christian Allen spoke with the family.
Just sparkly and hugs, the greatest hugs.
That's how Mark Woody describes his 38-year-old stepdaughter, Christy Carson.
Her father did pass away approximately 3 years ago from heart disease, and then her sister passed away 2 years ago from heart disease, which is when we got her on the radar following with a cardiologist, just in case there was anything. She got married that same year.
A beautiful bride ready to start a life and family with her new husband.
Miraculously, they were followed like 8 months later by announcing that they have twins on the way.
It was a smooth pregnancy for Christy. She continued working full-time as a registered nurse at UPMC Chautauqua. That was until week 31.
They figured out really quick that she was in a form of cardiogenic shock, heart shock.
The 38-year-old was airlifted to a Pittsburgh hospital where she delivered 2 baby girls. She's been on life support ever since.
The heart itself is only pumping 10 to 15% of normal.
Now, the new mom needs a heart transplant.
She's broken and we can't fix her.
In the meantime, this dad and grandfather is waiting for a miracle and preparing to take home his 2 precious granddaughters, worrying they too might have the heart disease threatening their mother's life, and terrified Christy may never get to watch her beautiful girls grow up.
The biggest thing is heart disease. If it runs in your family, keep a close eye on it, because it did We were watching it, and this still happened.
Kristen Allen, Erie News Now.
Community members are raising funds for the family through a GoFundMe page. To donate, you'll find a link through our news story at WNYNewsNow.com. This week, Pennsylvania Attorney General Josh Shapiro filed an amicus brief supporting petitioners in the educational funding trial. The trial began last November and concluded in March. The brief filed by Shapiro provides supporting evidence and arguments that Pennsylvania is constitutionally required to provide a quality, contemporary, and comprehensive public education. Petitioner in the case and funding advocates have been calling out the General Assembly for what they call an inability to adequately and equitably fund public schools. During a conversation with Erie News Now and WNY last month, Shapiro, who is also now the Democratic nominee for governor, says more investment is needed.
There are too many schools in Pennsylvania that are being left behind, rural and urban. There's a lot of investment we need to make. We're simply not investing enough in our schools today, and we're not doing it in the smart way and in a wise way that actually meets the needs of students.
Post-trial briefings and oral arguments related to legal issues will take place in late July. A decision may not come until several months afterwards. Coming up, more baby formula has entered the country and ready to ship out. And later, the latest on a veterans motorcycle cruise across the country. But first, we return with a full look at our full weather forecast when WNY News Now returns.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
I'm a survivor.
I'm a survivor.
I'm a survivor.
Testicular cancer is the leading form of cancer in men aged 15 to 35.
1 in 250 men will be diagnosed with testicular cancer.
But 98% will survive if detected early.
As a survivor, I believe early detection is the key. Learn how to do a testicular self-exam and other important facts about testicular cancer at oneball4tc.com.
Slow down.
Slow down and move over.
Move over.
When you see signs,
Lights.
Vests.
please give us some room.
Slow down.
Slow down and move over.
When you need help,
It's our job
To help you.
to save you.
despite the danger.
This danger is real.
Do your part.
Please
Slow down. Slow down. And move over.
move over.
How prepared is your family if a hurricane shows up at your doorstep, or a flood, or a blizzard? You can't just turn away a natural disaster. That's why it's important to go to ready.gov/plan now. It has the tools and tips you need to make an emergency plan with your family. So if disaster comes knocking,
Let's go.
you'll be ready to help keep your family safe.
It's just a pizza. Yes.
Make a plan today.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
First Defense Weather, the Southern Tier's only live and local weather source. Now, here's Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter.
All right, welcome back. And how about this picture of the lightning on Saturday night? Of course, those storms came through, and man, Josh sending this in, and you can see the lightning streaking across the sky. And, you know, we talk about it all the time. Lightning is frightening. And of course, if you have any pictures or videos of the weather, Hunters WX on Twitter, the First Defense Weather page on Facebook, and always use that hashtag MyLocalWX. And if you've been looking for rain, boy, we got it Saturday. Look at those rain totals, over 2.5 inches in Clymer, 1.92 in Jamestown, a little more than 1.5 inches in Falconer, close to that in Randolph, and a little more than an inch in Gary. So where you got those storms on Saturday, man, it came down in buckets. What the good news is, we're done with that for at least right now. The HD News Now cam showing you just a few clouds dotting the sky right now. 56. This is why it's cooler. We have that north to northwest wind coming on, and so that is continuing to bring in some cooler air coming in from Canada. But the cool air is not going to last. This is the 8 to 14 day temperature outlook from the Climate Prediction Center, and all of the orange and red you see here is favoring above average temperatures by the time we go into the first week of June. So yeah, we're going to see another warm up coming our way. Satellite and radar composite, again, we're starting to see high pressure starting to build on in now, basically across the upper Great Lakes. That's going to move on in, continue to move in. That's going to keep all this rain further to the south, where most of it. Wanted to mention this very quickly. This little low area pressure you see just north of Montgomery, that is a tropical invest, or what the National Hurricane Center is labeling Invest 90L. It's the first tropical wave we've seen come out of the Gulf of Mexico this year. Now the good news is this is not going to form into a tropical storm or a hurricane. It's mainly just a heavy rain producer. You can see all the heavy rain bands now going up out of Georgia into South Carolina. So that's the main threat with that, but we could be dealing with some of that rain later in the week. So here's the newest run of future scan, just painting sun and clouds through the afternoon hours. And again, most of what you see here is mostly high level clouds. So what we talked about earlier, clouds high, clouds high up in the atmosphere means no rain. Partly to mostly cloudy for the overnight hours tonight. So a good snoozing night. Again, temperatures go back down into the 40s for most areas through the overnight hours. Tomorrow there could be a spotty shower in isolated nature, but we'll call tomorrow mostly partly to mostly sunny on average, but a chance for a couple isolated showers. And then we will stay dry through Wednesday. The better chance of rain will come on Thursday as that low pressure area out of the Gulf moves our way, maybe spreading some widespread rain around here. We start tomorrow around 48, 66 at noon, 70 at 5 o'clock, partly to mostly sunny, again with that small chance for that shower. Next 7 days of your life, powered by Ultimate Satellite Solutions. So 71 tomorrow, that's right around average. Milder Wednesday, 74. Chance for rain and storms, again with that tropical wave. We'll have to keep our eyes on that to see exactly where that goes. Go back down on Friday, 66. The weekend right now looking dry, and we're going to get close to 80 degrees, Bronson, by next Sunday.
Woohoo, heat wave. 35 tons of baby formula from Germany is now in the U.S. A U.S. C-17 cargo plane carrying 132 pallets of formula landed in Indianapolis Sunday to help with the nationwide shortage. A Biden administration official said that the formula will be distributed to areas around the country where the most action is needed. This includes hospitals, clinics, pharmacies. The formula is hypoallergenic and will be fed to babies intolerant of protein in cow milk. Trade discussions happening far away could eventually affect the wallets of Americans here at home. President Joe Biden just announced his Indo-Pacific Economic Framework this morning. He says it consists of 13 partner countries. Amy Kiley has a look at the goals for helping people in the U.S.
After 5 years, the U.S. has a potential new economic strategy for allies in and around Asia. Today, President Joe Biden unveiling the Indo-Pacific Economic Framework. Here's how it might eventually affect Americans' wallets. Increasing trade makes it easier to get goods from overseas. To understand why that's important, look at efforts to fly in baby formula.
I can't tell you the amount of family members that I have personally that are affected and the community of people that I work with. So we are just so fortunate to be able to be a part of this.
The U.S. hasn't had a trade plan for the Indo-Pacific in years. Former President Donald Trump withdrew it from the Trans-Pacific Partnership in 2017. Since then, China's economic influence has been growing.
In 2014 and 2015, neither party was talking about the Chinese Communist Party the way Biden talks about it today. And that took 4 years of tough on-China policies.
Another goal of the new framework is to improve supply chains and lower prices.
We know we have to get inflation down. We're going to do everything we can to achieve a quote-unquote soft landing.
The framework also focuses on cleaner sources of energy compared to, say, gasoline.
This year's summer travel forecast indicated a lot fewer people driving over 2 hours to get to their destination.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
Congress would need to ratify the president's economic framework for it to become official. Some critics are already saying they'd likely to see more traffic reductions in the plan. The FDA is investigating a multi-state salmonella outbreak that they believe is linked to some Jif peanut butter products. A total of 14 people in 12 states have reported illness due to the outbreak, and 2 have been hospitalized. The salmonella cases have been tracked back to a plant in Lexington, Kentucky, operated by J.M. Smucker Company. The Jif peanut butter products in question have a lot code numbers 1274425 through 2140425. Because peanut butter can have up to a 2-year shelf life, consumers are urged to check their pantries. Next, a veterans motorcycle tour that plans to cruise through all 50 states has kicked off.
With coverage that matters. This is WNY News Now.
Visit the Northwest Arena on Friday, June 24th, as we celebrate the end of school and say hello to summer. Learn about activities available to youth in the Jamestown area, plus end the night with fireworks at the Tarp Skunks game. Learn more online at ccsolutions716.com.
When severe weather breaks, one team has you covered, tracking the storms as they happen. Catch your First Defense forecast daily on WNY News Now.
Slow down.
Slow down and move over.
Move over.
When you see signs,
Lights.
Vests.
please give us some room.
Slow down.
Slow down and move over.
When you need help,
It's our job
To help you.
to save you.
despite the danger.
This danger.
This danger is real.
Do your part.
Please
Slow down. Slow down. And move over.
move over.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
The National Patriot Tour made their first stop at the Harley-Davidson shop in the Falconer over the weekend. Our Alyssa Wright has more.
Hundreds of motorcycles from Pennsylvania cruised through Falconer Saturday, celebrating those who served our country.
For support the veterans and, hey, to have a good time too.
Among the highlights of the nationwide ride includes Old Glory herself, with the American flag passed on from state to state.
Handing over the flag to these guys, and it's going to go all over the United States.
The flag is intended to be passed along different branches of the Patriot Tour until it reaches all 50 states, and then it will make its way back to Erie, PA, where the event kicked off.
So I'm carrying it, and we'll be delivering it to the next flag bearer in Arkport, New York. This flag will go all the way across the United States and end up back in Erie, Pennsylvania in the fall.
Both are veterans themselves, Banta serving in Iraq and Kiefer serving in the Marine Corps and Vietnam.
It's a wonderful event for veterans because we care about veterans, we are veterans, and this is a great cause for them.
In addition to showing veterans appreciation and support, the tour also raised funds to assist veterans who need it.
Plus all the money that is collected and donated goes to disabled veterans.
For many of the riders, the tour is more than just a cruise around the area.
I would like to say that veterans, we have your left flank, we have your right flank, and we have
got your
back.
six.
Alyssa Wright, WNY News Now.
Alyssa, thank you. Many agree the tour is a great way to give back to those who served and a great way to kick off the week leading up to Memorial Day. Well, that's it for us today. News continues 24/7 at WNYNewsNow.com and at our mobile app. Download it free today in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. And we'll leave you with this live look over Randolph.